You're live?
Hey guys. We are jumping on here live. Oh, you can't take.
Oh no, why? That was my whining voice.
Why am I talking like this?
Oh,
Did you go in as Drew Tadia or True Form?
True Tadia.
No,
But what I could do is grab my phone and then...
Okay. Grab it.
Okay, take the show over, Drew.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
So, we thought we'd switch it up a bit. So we have a regular Cooking with Dorothy Monday nights, and we're like always trying to think of new ideas on what we can do and how we can keep you guys interested and engaged. So we said, what if we did something a little bit different? So the next 4 weeks, we want to focus on the 4 different macronutrients. So we've done this in the past with different videos, and I just think it's offers a more of a personal touch if we're doing it live. So to be 100% honest with you, Dorothy's family is visiting. Her parents are visiting us here, and we had a movie planned. So we didn't want to we didn't want to cancel on you guys. And then we told them we were going, and we're like, we have Cooking with Dorothy. So we thought, we've been wanting to do something more regularly this way to switch it up. Like, what can we do different for Cooking with Dorothy? So we're like, this idea just came up. So we thought, why not jump in here? That's just why we're a bit early, so our apologies for the late notice. But you can always watch the replays after.
Hey guys. Okay, I'll take some people because we are early.
Okay, so the first macronutrient, which one would you like to talk about? Fats?
I like to start usually with proteins or fats. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, so let's start with fats. So this is one of my favorite topics just because it's so, well, all of the macronutrients. I'll mention real briefly, the 4 macronutrients are proteins, they are antioxidants / fiber, which is your vegetables, you have fats, and then you have complex carbs, or carbohydrates. So those are the 4 macronutrients, and I guess they're kind of challenging a bit to understand how they all work together and how they work separately, I suppose. So let's talk about fats today, and then we'll go in each for the next month or the next 4 weeks. We'll talk about each one for Cooking with Dorothy and help you guys understand how that works. So fats in particular give us energy, and they also give us brain fuel. For example, fats can lubricate our joints. For example, like there's a lot of different things that fats can do, but in most cases they give us energy. I don't want to say they're supposed to, but in most cases they give us energy and they help with brain function. So they're super important, obviously. One of the things that is controversial is the type of fats and how they process in our bodies. So gets quite in depth, like different chains of fats, like medium chain, short chain, and long chain. They all process differently in our bodies. So that's why it gets confusing when it comes to oils.
We're going to do a show on each one, right?
Each macronutrient.
So for the next...
I already said that.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is we won't go in too much detail right now about each one. Just a little bit of detail.
Yes, I don't think you know what we're talking about. I'm saying we're talking about different types of fats right now.
Oh, you're not doing all 4 today? I'm very confused.
Hi.
I thought we were doing an intro. And then the next 4 we were going to do.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. I had said to Drew, let's do an intro quickly tonight. And then for the next 4 Cooking with Dorothy's after that, we could highlight one macronutrient.
I didn't get that at all.
But you're going right into fats.
Well, we can do a rough one. You didn't say that. I didn't catch that at all.
I didn't say that.
So you want to do an overview tonight then?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little intro.
Don't worry about these.
Okay.
That's just Nick's sending you guys messages to let you know that we're going early. So
okay.
Let's not worry about the tags for now.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do a little intro.
Okay, so instead of everything I just said, you can omit it because Dorothy didn't hear a word I said.
Just tagging.
So let's do a rough overview of the macronutrients.
Okay, so Drew already told you the 4. might want to get a little notepad and write this down. It's a lot of information. The macros is a huge topic. That's why I like to always break it down and talk about one at a time. So if you want to have a little notepad for the next series of lives, then that would be a great idea. I'm a note taker. Maybe you're not. But anyway.
Let's talk about the macros.
I know.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Anyway.
She's giving me the eye roll. I did the intro while you're tagging.
Well, what I was going to say was, I know Drew named the 4 macros. So one of the ones that I like to always highlight or talk about is like, because we're usually always obsessed with one of the macros, right? And the important thing is to get a balance of all 4 macros in our diet. That's the most important thing. So usually we're obsessed with getting enough protein, right? Especially when we are focusing on more of a plant-based diet, or people are always asking Drew and I, well, how do you get your protein in if you don't eat red meat? Or how do you get your protein in if you don't eat meat every day?
Or
animal products. So that's, there are lots of people who are kind of concerned or about that, and we'll talk about that when we go over protein, the protein day. Fats usually people are scared of, because in our mind we think that when we talk about fats, we talk about healthy fats, which we will teach you what is a healthy fat, what is an unhealthy fat in the fats night. But usually we're scared of fats. Most people are. We're ingrained in our head that eating fats will make us fat, and that is not true. Eating certain fats will make you fat, or could, right? Put on body weight.
The good fats actually eat the bad fats.
Yeah.
So you need the bad fats to eliminate. You need the good fats to eliminate the bad fats.
But the problem is most people who are scared of fats will just cut out fats altogether, even the healthy fats, which doesn't work so well.
Bad idea. You don't have the brain function that we're talking about. Yeah, the energy, like sustained energy. That's a problem.
And then the other one that is more of an obsession, I suppose, now is carbohydrates, because there's lots of different diets, I suppose, out there, or fads that tell us that we shouldn't have any carbs, right? And then we think that we shouldn't have any carbs. And we'll talk on the carb night about what is a slow digesting carb and what is a quick digesting carb. And we'll explain to you the difference so that you can understand that carbs are a good thing. We do need carbs, but we'll teach you about that. And
2 different types.
And it is a little bit controversial because there are different opinions out there. For example, keto is a really big hot topic right now, or it has been for quite a while now. Paleo. And yes, there are some benefits to those type of lifestyles, I suppose. But the problem is that there's a certain way to do them, and a lot of times we're just cutting out carbs, right? But we'll talk more about that when we do the carbohydrate.
Did Heather jump in here? Hey, Heather.
Hey, Heather.
And then Kim says they just joined.
Yay!
Awesome, Kim.
Thanks, Kim. So those 3, the fats, proteins, and carbs, there's usually one of those 3 that we're obsessed with or scared of. So the other one we call the forgotten about macro. Because usually when you ask somebody how many macronutrients are there, they're going to say 3, right? The carbs, the proteins, and the fats. And then the antioxidant or fiber category, antioxidant fiber category, gets forgotten about. Like, people usually don't talk about that one. And this is our veggie category.
It's because when you're weighing food, or when they're teaching you about food, they're like, oh, just have as many veggies as you want. So you people think it doesn't really count. Or when you're weighing food, it's there's no, you're not going to weigh veggies. You weigh your carbs and you weigh your proteins, right?
Or measure your carbs.
Yeah, I don't think
weigh
anyone's
your proteins.
Oh, have a cup of lettuce. No one says that. Doesn't really matter, right? So, and then when you have dinner, people say, when you have dinner, people, what are you having for dinner? Oh, we're having chicken.
Right.
No one says, oh, we're having beans. We're actually having Brussels sprouts with some mushrooms and onions mixed in there on the side. Just doesn't happen, right? So, morning, or I was going to say
Good
morning.
morning.
Hey, Sue. Sue jumped in here as well.
Does kind of feel like morning show style.
Yeah. So real quick, those of you that are jumping in and out, you guys can always watch the replays as usual. But for the next 4 episodes of Cooking with Dorothy, we wanted to do something a bit different to change it up. So we decided to talk about the 4 macros. So today's just a brief overview, and we'll get in depth of each macro in the next 4 weeks.
Is that a good overview? Do you guys have any questions? You can let us know, even if you're watching the replay.
Yeah.
Sometimes we might, if you're watching the replay and ask a question, we might miss it. So you might want to ask the question in a new thread. But right now, if you're live and have a question, then we will see it pop up.
We're here for you. And then, did you mention proteins? Proteins is an important one as well.
Yeah, that was the first one I talked about, usually.
Oh, right. Everyone says, where do you get your proteins from?
Because a lot of times, for us, protein in our minds or in our brains, protein is meat, right? But protein is so much more than meat.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, so like we have that mindset. Like I get it from the athletic world. Like you have to have meat for protein, and I'm like I don't eat meat anymore. I just don't enjoy it. A little bit of meat here and there, and I still find protein. But 188. I'm right now about 188 pounds, and that's larger than the average male, I would say, for 5'10" and a half, 5'11". But people often think you have to have a ton of meat to gain muscle mass, but it's not true. It's just false information that, and they have vegan bodybuilders or vegetarian bodybuilders. Like there's all kinds of different ways to go about something, and there's no real reason for it other than I don't enjoy that much meat. But that's what they taught us. You have to have protein from meat, and it's just not true. So we'll talk about that specifically in the protein show. And so we can teach you guys how to have different types of protein, or I know some of you, like I know there's Heather's in here, Rayanne's in here. I know some of you have teenage boys, for example, that are I would imagine they're thinking, I got it. I just had a cousin actually write in, and his son is 17, and he's playing hockey, and he wants to know how he can get more protein in his diet, you know. And I'm like, because that's what they teach you, like sports athletics, it's all protein. So I gotta have the conversation of you need to have a well balanced, not just protein, because all they do is focus on protein. You run into digestion issues because you're having protein, and then they tell you a big glass of milk has a bunch of protein in it too. So you have, we do a little bit of food combining, so there's a lot of sugar, like milk or dairy is turned into sugar very easily in your body. So then you put a bunch of meat in your body, you chug a glass of milk for the extra protein, and then your body, the milk is a sugar, so it processes it differently, and it doesn't get a chance to break down the meat, so then we run into a bunch of digestion issues. It's a crazy cycle.
Susan says, I think that's how we grew up, especially as older folks. Meat, potatoes, and veggies. It's funny because I grew up that way too, and when Drew and I were transitioning into a more plant-based diet, it felt like something was missing. Did you feel that way? Without some meat on your plate and just plant-based, it always felt like something was missing. But so it does take a little shift, like a mindset shift for sure. And we're not saying never eat animal protein. Like we're just saying protein does not equal meat. There's lots of different sources of proteins that and more easily digested proteins is what we're looking for, right?
Like utilize.
Yeah.
You digest it, your body utilizes it, you can turn it into energy. Just like, look at spirulina, for example. Like that's one we talk about because it's a new product, but spirulina and like pound for pound, spirulina has more protein than steak. Like it's crazy to think about, but most people aren't going to be like, okay, I'm going to have a couple
pound of spirulina.
Or a cup.
Or a cup.
I mean, you're not going to do that, right? But if you were to weigh them or to match them up side by side, spirulina has more nutrients and it's more protein packed, just because it's a plant. People are like, oh no, it's not from animals, doesn't have protein.
Right.
Sue says, will you be cooking on those shows? We could consider it. Would you? Is that a request or just a curiosity?
Curiosity. But what I was thinking, because I did see your comment or your question come up, Susan, I thought we could maybe on each macro night have a recipe suggestion or a show and share.
Yeah. Or like food. I like that. Or like my Success Sunday sharing food.
Yes, like.
Share. Did you guys like that?
Yeah.
Who cares?
So, for example, on the. Just trying to give a good example. Like on the fats night, when we talk about avocados being a healthy fat, we can give some examples, maybe show some things of how you can incorporate avocados into your meal.
Hemp seeds.
Or hemp seeds. Yeah, we can give you some more specific examples that you can use right away. But for example, tonight for supper, it was really, we noticed, oh, we don't have a healthy fat on our plate. So we went to the fridge and grabbed avocado, right?
Let's tell them what we had.
And it paired really nicely. We had sweet potatoes, asparagus, and a vegetable burger, like a veggie burger. And then a half avocado. Like they were the smaller avocados. The big ones I went to just having a half, probably a quarter. But these were the smaller avocados. So we had a half of avocado each. And then you have all your macros, all your macronutrients. But it's easy to put the avocado along with the burger.
Yeah, it's just an easy one.
Yeah.
Just made sense.
Yeah.
Carrie jumped in here. Hey, Carrie. And then Sue says ideas of each would be nice. Yeah.
Mm.
So maybe instead of actually cooking, well, we could change it up. Who knows? But we could have like a little bowl of avocado and then a little bowl of hemp seeds, for example. Maybe some MCT oil or something.
Yeah. Examples.
For fat. That's for fats.
And maybe I could share like a recipe, for example.
Yeah.
Like a great healthy fats recipe is the avocado pudding, for example. That's been in the meal plan recently.
Yes.
It's so good.
Has anyone tried that? If you guys haven't tried it, you're going to try it and be like, why haven't I tried this before? Because every time we have it, we're like, why don't we make this more often? You know what's nice? It's a really nice way to use your avocados before they spoil. They're getting soft and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with these?
I have too many ripe ones all at once.
And even if they're a little overripe and they get like a slightly brown on the inside, then you know they don't taste good. Well, if you put in your recipe of dates or sweetener and cacao.
Usually because the avocado pudding. The avocado pudding.
How you doing, pudding? See, I'm like Joey, get her every time. From Friends.
What was I saying?
Oh,
usually because you sweeten the avocado pudding. If it is a little bit, like Drew said, a little bit going brown, you can't really taste it because it's sweetened. Now, if it's a lot brown, you're probably going to taste it.
Gonna have to get rid of those. Heather says, so good. Yeah, that avocado pudding is amazing. Do the boys like it? Do your kids like it, Heather? Yeah, that's a good one.
It would be great, like, to see younger athletes eating stuff like that, right? In their training programs.
Yeah, I did some work with athletes in the past. I may do some work with athletes in the new year. But I really like it. The younger ones.
Like up until about.
Easy. We might have some parents with older kids here.
Okay.
There's really good older kids, of course. Like we had some really good kids. Like I really enjoyed working with older athletes, and older I mean like collegiate athletes and those in university. I enjoy it, but they just have a mind of their own, and there's more of them that know everything. But then when you work with I worked with 14, 16?
Probably 13, 14 to 17?
Yeah.
16,
and
17?
that age group, there's more of them that want to learn instead of the older ones want to tell you what they know. And the younger ones seem to want to learn. But then, of course, you have the outliers, right? You always have a few younger ones that like don't really want to learn. I'm just talking about the majority. And then in like the collegiate level or older, you still have a few that want to learn and want to do a good job, but there's just more that are like,
I know that.
You ain't telling me anything. And it says, hey, D&D, home again.
Yeah.
Home again, home again. What's that rhyme you do?
Home again, jiggity jig.
Yeah.
Home again, jiggity jig. Sue says, did you decide when you are starting the morning live exercises?
We'll get those going soon.
Yeah.
We know that school's coming up here. I know you're back, Sue. We have a couple other people that are just getting back. Cindy's kind of away with school. We actually just saw Stephanie in person, which was really nice. Always nice to see Stephanie. She's always bright. That's Annie. What's it?
Anne on
Anne
Facebook.
In the group, yeah. But we'll get those going. We know some people are still winding things up, and we did mention earlier Dorothy's parents are here, so we're enjoying our time with them.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get to see them very often.
Been 2 years.
So we got a handful of things going on, but we will get those going for sure.
Yeah. And it says, I got Nick's message. Did you start early? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
So we just mentioned earlier that we were jumping on. We actually started close to 6:30, so we're just going to wrap things up here, Anna. But you can go back and watch the replay.
Yeah.
I just asked Nick. It was a big task for Nick to be like, it was last minute. I was like, hey, Nick, can you send all these messages out while we go live? So that's what he's doing. We want to let you guys know as soon as possible. We're like, we want to let you guys know and get everyone notifications and let you know we'll be here early. So at any rate, we're wrapping things up.
Yeah.
But so go back and watch the replay. We talked real briefly. We talked about we're going to do the specific individual macronutrients for the next 4 weeks. So,
on Cooking with Dorothy night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Monday nights at 7 p.m. will be macros for the next 4 nights because there's 4 macros. We'll give you some reminders. We have Success Sunday coming up, so.
And then maybe let's do the theme weeks. Like we'll try to do the theme weeks. We haven't done.
Oh, we haven't done the theme weeks like that.
Well, we've tried. We just haven't. I know a lot of people are away and stuff. We haven't had a whole lot of participation when we've done theme weeks recently. So we're like, maybe we'll give that a rest. But we'll do. So next week, let's say we'll decide. Let's say it's protein. So then we'll do protein theme week, and we'll ask protein questions, and we'll feature a specific protein.
We actually did an Exploring Mind and Body series, didn't we?
Yeah.
Or was it might have been a D&D
I think
live.
it was a morning live. Remember we did those morning lives?
Might have been that. But anyway, we have videos we can share with you too.
Yeah.
For more info that you can watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll share that throughout the week.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. We are off. Thanks for tuning in with us last minute here. We will be back live on the True Form page Friday morning.
Yep.
And then I'm back to school, so it'll probably just be you, Drew.
Okay.
And then we'll see you Success Sunday.
Yes. Keep it rocking. Try to get that momentum going and know that it was a slow summer for a lot of people, but as soon as you can get started and get back to routines,
Get going.
I got a handful of messages today already from people that are saying, looking forward to getting back into routine. So the sooner you can start your routines and start getting back into that nutrition, fitness, health, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah. Susan says, I'm looking forward to learning the different proteins. I'm a meat person. Yeah, it's probably one of the biggest mindsets to shift. Like,
yeah, and we're not going to try to talk you out of eating meat and protein.
No.
We'll just share information about different options.
Yeah. And then Anna says, enjoy your family time. So special. Thank you, Anna.
We learned that more now than
Yes.
ever.
Yes. I just noticed the comment above Anna says, macro training sounds great. That's what we could call it.
Yes. Macro training.
Macro training.
Protein edition. Macro training.
I like it, Anna. Let's go with
Nice
that.
moves, Anna. All right, everyone. Have a good evening, and we'll catch up with you later.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Adios.
Amigos.